All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. Before we get started, I'd like to do an acknowledgement. We meet today on settled indigenous land, which is traditional territory of the Chinookan peoples of the Wasco, Wishram, Warm Springs, and Grand Ronde tribes. Let us honor this land as traditional native stewards, past, present, and future, and strive today to embody a commitment to cultural equity and reconciliation, ecological conservation, and sustainability. I hereby call this meeting to order at 4 p.m. Tia, will you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Greg, Chair.
Here.
Megan, Vice Chair.
Let's see her on there.
Tamara, she's out today. Jim.
Here.
Elazar. Gisela.
Here.
And Matt.
Here.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody being here. You were supplied the February 18th minutes in your packet last week. Everybody have a chance to review? Okay. Are there any changes or anybody needs to propose? Not hearing any, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from February 18th.
I move to approve the February 18th minutes.
Thank you, Matt. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Thank you, Jim or Gisela. Any further discussion on the minutes? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay. Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Minutes are approved. We are on to public comment. I don't see any public. Ben's here representing the town of Hood River. And we have Joby here from the state.
And Megan just.
Okay. All right, so I'll skip item number 4. We're on to item number 5, which is our monthly accounting report. And we'll go over the grant tracker review as well. Tia, floor is yours.
Thank you, Rick. Included in your materials were the February financial reports. Did anybody have any questions about that part of the information?
Except we had a negative month of $94,000 or something like that, negative income, I remember.
We had
219. Yeah.
There was a crossover with the bus purchase and the time that it was cashed.
Okay.
So it will reflect on next month's financial report.
So next month you're saying we're going to look good.
We're going to look good.
Okay. Anything out of the ordinary there that we should be aware of?
Like just financial wise in general. No, I think everything is great. We've received, as you'll see leading into the tracker, we have started to receive our Q2 reimbursements. Actually, most have been received. The only thing that is still remaining is our 5311 funds that there was a delay on being able to submit those reimbursements. That has since been resolved and they are actually compiled and will be submitted next week, as well as the $68,097 for the remaining portion of the property. That is now, we have learned that we can submit that reimbursement, so it will be submitted next week as well.
Okay.
Otherwise, everything is on track and going well.
Okay.
Any questions about the grant tracker for Q2? Okay.
Well, that was too fast.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on to agenda item number 6, resolution and action items. We have Amy remotely. Thank you very much for on your vacation joining us. Much appreciated. Floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. Sorry I can't be there in person. It sounds like you guys are having much nicer weather than we are here in the San Juan Islands, so that's fun. Okay, so the first piece, the action item is the termination Swiftly contract and approval of amendment to spare contract for fixed route services. I provided a memo in your board meeting materials so that the purpose of this action item is to brief the board on the termination in progress of the fixed route dispatch contract with Swiftly and to seek approval for a contract amendment with Spare to consolidate all dispatch services, fixed route, and demand response under a single provider. As a reminder, in March 2025, CAT contracted with Swiftly for fixed route and Spare for demand response dispatch software. While Spare's implementation was successful, the Swiftly rollout was challenging due to software functionality issues and a lack of support to resolve the issues in a timely manner from Swiftly. CAT staff has consistently been working with Swiftly to resolve these issues, but progress toward resolution just has not been met. So due to these challenges and lack of resolution, we are working on terminating the Swiftly contract effective May 26, 2026, and consolidate all dispatch services, fixed route, and demand response through a contract amendment with Spare. So the details of that all include so the Swiftly refund. So CAT will receive a refund for roughly $31,000. So that's year 2 and 3 of the original Swiftly contract. The Spare
I'm sorry,
amendment.
was that paid in full at the beginning and it's truly a refund, or?
Sorry, say that one more time.
No, Tia said yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it'd be for the total of year 2 and 3. Because we would have already made it through year 1 of the contract.
Okay.
The Spare amendment is going to be a 3-year term, so through May 2029, totaling $57,000. So the Swiftly refund will be used to pay much of the cost for years 1 and 2 of the Spare contract amendment, which will be $36,000. And then year 3, which will be about $21,000, will be budgeted in the corresponding fiscal year. So Spare is $6,000 more than the original Swiftly contract. Well, yeah, over 3 years. However, there are additional features that were not accessible in Swiftly that will be available in Spare. So I'm asking you to discuss and here to answer any questions. I recognize this isn't ideal, and I wouldn't be making this switch if I just don't think we can make the Swiftly relationship successful. So Matt.
So how many different softwares have we had in your tenure here for dispatch software?
In my tenure, I think this is probably our 5th one, and I started in 2019.
It seems like we're playing kind of vendor roulette.
Well,
I mean, are we finally with Spare? Are they like the long-term solution? Because it seems like every year we're not happy and they overpromise or parts of their software don't work or whatever. Is this Spare been around a long time, proven kind of thing? We're making the right decision here.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, it's not ideal. I think the one thing I think what I've come to learn is I think there's always going to be glitches in technology for transportation software. I think that's reality. But the one thing that we can control is going with a partner who is a partner and is there to help support us and to solve and resolve the issues as they come up in a timely manner. With Swiftly, I mean, I'm waiting on things that I brought up to them about 4 months ago, and they have to do with ridership and other things that are really big for us in order to get grants and just to have successful operations. And Spare, through the whole implementation process, I mean, they took, Jeff, was it a month versus 3, or was it 2 months to implement Spare versus the 6 months that Swiftly took?
yeah, it's probably about 2 months. I think to your point though, just the communication around it and the support we're getting, and even though we've even started using an EAM program instead of Fleetio within the vehicle maintenance program, which isn't even a fully functioning program yet, but we're like building it with them, and there's the speed in which they turn around like requests and help and like support, and they flew people out here to help us get our whole entire team and help our drivers and like help with training. It makes a huge difference. I think also part of we're kind of in this weird spot as like a small to medium sized, I guess we're just small transit agency if you compare, and our price range for what we can get is with all these other companies that aren't working out. You're either getting like a low budget product or you're getting a startup company that has ambitions to do something big and isn't able to deliver, where Spare is in that I think I wouldn't say they're a startup, but they are do you know when Spare started?
I think they've been around for 5 to 6 years. But they've just been their business model of just how they support their agencies is just completely different than I've seen from any of these other different providers that we've had.
Okay. And Matt, I've seen you had your hand up for a while. You have some comments there? Well, you're going to have to unmute yourself if you really want us to understand your point.
Another bad decision out of me. Just to clarify, this will sort of replace our original contract, and it'll just be a new 3-year contract going forward with Spare. Is that fair to say?
Correct. Yep. And the reason why it'd be 3 year rather than 2 years is it just helps us lock in a lower price for that last year.
Perfect. Thank you.
And Jim, did you have something too?
I don't know who this question is for, but could you give me a 30-second exactly what the software does? And two, do you go to trade shows for this kind of thing? Or, I mean, and are they talking artificial intelligence? I mean, I guess in my mind, this would be like an AI agent, like totally. Like, I mean, do they talk about it at all when you go to these, when they give you the pitch?
They have, well, we do demos with them, so
Okay.
we'll get one-on-one demos from them. But yeah, also at the trade shows, the OTA conference, they have the vendors can be there, but you're not getting. It's really hard in that short period of time to get like a really thorough presentation, especially because I think agencies all operate in different unique ways, and so the one-on-one ones are a lot more effective.
But this is, I mean, whatever you're doing is completely data driven, right? I mean, it's just numbers, right? I mean, what is this software doing, I guess, is my question.
So the cool thing about this one is, so right now I have to draw out, like, to create a schedule for our fixed routes, I have to draw like a literal schedule, and we have to send it to Trillium, which is a company that helps us upload GTFS information to Google. And then that GTFS data that they create is sent to Swiftly. And so they're completely GTFS based. And we can get those GPS points through this other software called Remix. So right, you see there's like a lot of steps and a lot of places that errors can happen. This just for clarity, this is like one like aspect of how this is going to be better. And then in this Spare software, it's like I don't know if you guys have used Remix, but it's a transit mapping program where you can build your routes, gives you a bunch of data on your routes, and you can literally like move like your bus stops around and drag and drop your routes. If we have a delay in this new software, a reroute in this new software, it can literally change the route, and it'll send that information.
Move pins around or stuff.
So
Yeah.
if anybody's searching on any other platform for transit routes, a whole bit, it shows up.
Yeah, and so all those extra steps to get on Google, this software just creates the GTFS right out of those click drag and drops that we're doing, and they upload that goes straight to Google instead. So we're cutting out this Trillium to Google this GTFS creation is all just going to be up. And I don't have to go through like a bunch of spreadsheets creating these routes. Anytime there's a change or a bus stop, I just move it, and then they get a new piece of data, and that gets uploaded to our drivers to Google, and yeah, so people will have accurate information instead of all these like multiple steps for trying to get other people to change things for us.
Okay.
And so just on a really high level, Jim, this is our dispatching software. So so we have one for fixed route and we have one for demand response. So our dial-a-ride or door-to-door service. And Spare previously only did the dial-a-ride service or the door-to-door, and they have since we signed the contract with Swiftly, they have released this fixed route software. So it gives us the software for the drivers to know where they're going on their route, to know when they need to leave each stop. It also is where they collect the ridership information, and then it collects our on-time performance. And then it also does all the back end stuff that Jeff was talking about. for us to actually plan the routes and put that information in our software so the drivers have them, but also so the general public can use it. And Spare allows us to do it all in one program, whereas right now we have to do it in 3 different programs.
Fair enough. I would think they'd all be talking AI right now. I mean, does anybody mention that? I mean, this is just completely data driven.
I mean, most of the AI stuff that I'm running into with the software is just AI help that on their, it's like a help desk that they have.
Right.
Yeah, it's mostly data driven from what.
I predict in 3 years when we do another software package, it'll be completely AI.
Won't need a dispatcher.
Yeah, it'll be a box about this big. Right?
Okay.
And
That's
then,
another cool feature we're getting is the just like in the dial-a ride, the fixed route there'll be an app that that passengers can actually just track their buses and see their buses live, and
They know when they're coming or if they've already missed it.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Which in theory we have those resources, but you have to go to our website.
No, that's a cool feature. You can do that with Amazon, right? You can see like kind of where he is on the Amazon packages. So yeah.
Okay.
also to give a little more context around the amount of dispatch software that we've had. We've had to have 2 dispatch softwares, basically, I think since 2020, one for one for demand response and one for fixed route. So I think we've only done maybe 2 or 3 changes of software completely, but because we've needed one for each service, we've had to have 2 every time we do a switchover. That helps.
Multiple suppliers for different. Right.
Are you getting defensive about the question there?
No, I was just trying to give a little bit more context around it.
For the newbie.
Good
Thanks.
context. I
No, I
appreciate
need
it.
it.
I understand software failures and I know how they've let us down.
And
I
since
know there's good intent.
and I think it's only been Unite, Downtowner, and then we did Swiftly and Spare. Oh, Eco Lane was pre-you.
It was right at when I first started in 2019.
You had Eco Lane.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, any other board members have any comment? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to approve the 3-year contract with Spare and the extra $6,000 in costs that we'll have to write in the next budget. Correct? Okay. Sorry, you're stuck with the existing software. Okay, next item.
We can just stick with our paper route sheets. That's
Okay.
fine.
All right, here, I'll step up. I move to approve the new 3-year amendment with Spare.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
I'll
We have a
second.
Okay. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate that. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. We got the Swiftly termination and Spare contract amendment done. On to 6B. Amy?
Oh yeah, sorry. That's me too. So this is the approval of Experience Mount Hood and the Gorge grant application. So the purpose of this action item is to share that Experience Mount Hood and the Gorge has released the Strategic Investment Fund SIF grant program. Staff is asking board members to review and approve staff to apply for this grant to pay for the design, bus stop infrastructure, and construction of 2 new bus stops at Wanapa Street and Forest Lane and Cascade Locks. So the purpose of the grant program that we'd like to apply for is to address tourism infrastructure needs and or enhance the visitor experience. So per our financial management policy, staff seeks approval to submit the below application, which will be again for the design, bus stop infrastructure, and construction of 2 new bus stops at Wanapa Street and Forest Lane and Cascade Locks. This will provide transit access for residents and tourists to the east side of Cascade Locks, which includes residential areas, campgrounds, and recreational areas. Bus stop amenities will include seating, shelter, bikes, wayfinding, and artistic elements. The cost would be $30,000. There is no expected match. However, we will provide in-kind match for project management, as that can be covered under some of our other operational grants. So the ask is for the board to discuss and vote to approve or not approve staff to submit the grant program application. Any questions?
Just one. So are the costs gonna be broken down, or do you give them like, I want these kind of bike locker? I mean, Megan probably will step in on this one, but I mean, are there lockers, I mean, do you give them any hints what you want? Or just,
Yeah, I mean, we, in general, I usually go to Megan for these type of questions if we get approved, if we get a little closer. But in general, we just ask for typical bike racks, and it's just an estimate number for what that would cost.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't just bike racks, it was, just, I didn't know if you gave them a playground to play in, or is there a cost above it, or,
Yeah.
we got $1 million. What do you envision, or?
No, we break it down. So there's the cost for the shelter, the estimated cost for the actual construction, so the concrete pads that will be required, the cost of purchasing the bike racks, also the signs, and then some the funds for artistic elements, because the purpose and wayfinding, because the purpose of this particular bus stop, it helps serve the Cascade Locks residents, specifically the east side, but it also assists with having tourists and getting them closer to some of the other recreational activities on the east side of Cascade Locks. And yes, sorry, did I give you enough information on that? Oh, we also submit a draft version of what it'll look like. Tim did a really great job of using his skills to create what we envision that bus stop looking like. Of course, we will need to also hire some consultants to help us with the final design, as that bus stop is it has to meet ODOT regulations, and it's a little outside of our scope, so we will need somebody to help us to make sure we're meeting all those requirements.
Okay. Good. Seems pretty straightforward. No money out of our pocket except for administration. It's something nice for the community of Cascade Locks. Any further discussion from the board?
Looks like Matt had a question.
Yeah, just a quick question. Will this supplement our stops in Cascade Locks, or will this replace the Thunder Island one with these two new ones, I guess?
This will supplement.
Gotcha. So 3 total stops in Cascade Locks. How much of an additional trip time do we anticipate on the Columbia Gorge Express now?
Probably 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
It's on the same route.
The main drag, basically, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not going to impact the end-to-end times more than, I think the bigger impact is going to be the traffic we're seeing. But yeah, it's like whatever boarding time is at that bus stop. So 1 minute to 5 minutes.
Good question, Matt.
Thank you, guys.
Giselle is giving you the thumbs up. She liked your question too. Or maybe the answer.
Yeah, I was about to ask the same question, but I have another question. Are you planning to also include trash cans? Because I do remember that we had somewhat of a trash issue in other, I would say, bus stops in the Hood River area.
Yes, the intent is to put a trash can. And I also want to add, we did receive a letter of support from the Port of Cascade Locks and the City of Cascade Locks for this application as well.
Who manages that trash then? Public Works there?
You know what? That is a good question. Actually don't know the answer to that one. I don't believe we have, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting if we have trash cans at the other Cascade Locks bus stops, but the ones in Hood River, we either, depending on where the bus stops are, either we have a get help from One Community Health, or we change them ourselves.
Okay, we'll figure that part out.
I'm sorry, Megan, did you have a question?
I did. I was wondering if the shelter will have power, because something I keep nudging for all the gorge hubs, which is like in each of the respective towns along the historic Columbia River Highway is to just put in a regular receptacle, like a power receptacle that people can use to either charge their phones or charge their e-bike batteries.
It is not in the current application, but that's something that we could look into.
It shouldn't, if it already has power coming to it, it shouldn't be that big of a deal because like just a traditional GFCI receptacle is not very expensive, but it makes a big difference in terms of an amenity.
Yeah, totally get that. Yeah, I don't know. Our typical shelter, it doesn't have, we've added lights to it that don't run off power, so it's all battery or uh charged by the sun. Um, so it's not necessarily hooked up to power. So that's something we'd have to look into. I don't know exactly if there is power at that site.
Yeah, I know $30,000 wouldn't cover that if we were doing power there. Good question. That would be a good amenity.
It'd be cool, but it also could create a lot of loitering and a place to sleep for the night.
And a place to sleep for the night, yeah. People are taking away their power receptacles and not adding them.
Like the lobby here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Further discussion from the board on this? How we're doing it? Okay. Entertain a motion if you so desire.
I'll make the motion to support the grant application.
Okay. Thank you, Megan.
I second.
All right. Thank you, Gisela. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. Perfect. Thank you very much. And Megan, we're very jealous that you're outside in the sun enjoying it. At least I am. All right. We are on to the operations manager report. Jeff?
Okay. Ops report, we're still sitting at a 99 with 2 harsh events. Speeding is still pretty low. The Samsara gave me a new symbol there, the less than 0.1%. I did a little research on that. I think it's anything that's less than 1% is now going to look like that. I instead of what it's previously looked like as like 0.002%. I don't know if that's a permanent change or something they're experimenting with, but that's what we'll see now. Okay, fixed OTP is down to 92.5%. Most of that is due to delays on Gorge to Mountain. I can give you guys, if you guys are interested, I can pull the whole breakdown of each OTP for each service. But
Is that weather delay or traffic delay?
It is weather delay on Gorge to Mountain, and then also there's a weird thing with our last lap because they're drop-offs only if it's the opposite of what you think the weather would do. If it's nice weather, they're going through those stops and not dropping anybody off.
Okay.
And so it's showing up as we left the bus stop early for
Okay.
those. So that also impacts it. Our OTP is looking awesome at 98.2%. Vehicle hours driven 1264, 42,303 vehicle miles, about 30 cents a mile. Formal customer complaints 2, customer incidents 4. I can pick a couple of these if you guys want, or if you guys read them and have any questions. What was that?
No, I said I read them.
Okay, cool. Then
Seems straightforward.
we'll move through that. We had 2 harsh turns. Those were coached by the supervisors, and we got an employee of the month. Our senior driver, Zach McFarland. Zach has been with CAT for the long haul as a senior driver. He is well versed in our policies and knows how to handle difficult passengers with grace. He takes the lead in speaking up for his fellow drivers and is generally enthusiastic about the service we provide. Cool. Moving on to ridership.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to speak for the rest of the board. If anybody else had questions about complaints or incidents, please step up.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All right.
Ridership report. So we are up from last month and down from the previous year. Some of this is to lower ridership on Gorge to Mountain for the obvious reason, and we also had 28 days this year in February. So yeah, I don't have much else to say about that. Gorge to Mountain. We extended Gorge to Mountain to April 5th, so that'll be our last day running service for Gorge to Mountain, and we will be beginning Dog Mountain on the following week on April 11th. That concludes my report. Any questions?
You said Gorge Mountain, when's that called? April 5th?
April 5th, yeah.
Okay, not hearing questions for Jeff. Thank you very much for the report. Appreciate it. Amy, it's now the agenda item 8, your executive director report.
All right, thank you. Okay, so the first thing on the list is legislative update. I want to update the board on the most recent information regarding House Bill 3991 and the SORCH session update. There's no action required of the board at this time. With regards to House Bill 3991, which includes the gas tax and state employee payroll tax increase, it'll go to voters in May. However, a lawsuit is expected, which, if successful, will have it go to the voters in November. Oregon Transit Association, or OTA, was focusing on House Bill 4008, which would have formed a transit funding task force compiled of legislators, providers, businesses, labor, and writers. However, this was not approved. Instead, the governor's office is taking the lead on creating a funding solution that can be brought to legislators at the 2027 legislative session if House Bill 3991 is not passed by voters. So for the impact, legislators decided to reallocate funding from Safe Routes to School and Oregon Community Paths to fill the funding gap at ODOT. Public transit funds that we receive were not reallocated. So for now, we are okay, but likely we will see impacts in July 2027 if additional funding is not allocated to public transit. Any questions on that? Okay. So the next one is a work plan update. I want to update the board on the status of the projects detailed in the work plan. No action is required of the board at this time. I did include the work plan in the meeting materials. We have made significant progress in several projects, especially with releasing the permit checkers and CAT Transit Facility Development Program RFPs, or request for proposals. Additionally, while not yet completed, staff has made quite a bit of progress on refining processes, SOPs, and documentation for dispatch and vehicle maintenance software. And we'll continue to prioritize these projects and ensure ongoing progress. Any questions?
The Spare Rider app, how robust is that going to be? You say promoting to once we have it for our regular service?
Yeah, so we have put up flyers in the different demand response vehicles that do dial-a-ride. And we have done a couple of social media posts, and we're continuing to work on that.
Okay.
And we still
But
need
that app is only for dial-a-ride. Once we use Spare for other stuff, is there live tracking or anything else on the app?
There will be when we have the fixed route, and
Okay.
actually it'll give updates too. If like there are delays, we can send messages straight to people that are on that app.
Okay.
I'm actually not sure though if the dial-a-ride and the fixed route are separate apps for the rider, if they have to do two, but or if it's just one that they toggle between fixed and dial-a-ride.
Okay.
That'd be interesting to know though.
And then we still need to do a press release on it as well. Any other questions?
Well, thanks for putting all this together to share what you're working on.
Yeah. And the Transit Facilities Development Program RFP that was released on last Thursday, and that will be out for about 30 days, and then we will review the different proposals we've received.
Okay.
Uh, All right, so the next one is the City of Hood River Business Transit Pass Program. So I want to let the board know that staff has recently updated the City of Hood River IGA that provides free transit passes for individuals employed within the boundaries of the City of Hood River. There's no action required of the board at this time. This iteration of the IGA is for 3 years. Each year, the City of Hood River will pay $6,000 for up to 150 passes that will be distributed to employees who work within the boundaries of the City of Hood River. The boundary has been expanded from previous years per the request of the City Council. In order to get the pass, employees need to go to our website and fill out a quick survey. And then once staff has confirmed eligibility, they can pick it up at the CAT office.
Is
And
that pass, is that a one-time ride pass? Is that a season pass? Is that?
that's a year pass. So
The
it's
annual
the
pass.
annual Gorge Transit Pass.
Okay.
So once they get it, it's good for a year.
Is there any qualifiers in there?
You mean for what it takes to be
Well,
eligible?
like somebody's applying for that. They have to be a Hood River resident, I heard you say. Is there any other?
So they don't actually have to be a Hood River resident. They just have to be employed by a business within the boundaries of City of Hood River.
Okay.
And that's the only requirement. And the form that they fill out, it includes their name, their contact information, which business they work for, who we can contact at their business. And then it also asks several questions, meaning how will this bus pass change how they commute to and from work? Is this the first time they're getting this pass? If they had it for multiple years, how often do they intend to use the bus, et cetera, et cetera. So it also helps us gather some more information that we previously didn't have.
And is this a multi-year program the City of Hood River is doing, or is this just kind of a?
So
Just got
previously it had been a year-to-year program, but this is a 3-year program now.
I knew that. I was just testing you.
Thanks.
Wanted to
Did
see
I
if we
pass?
needed Ben to step in, see what he knew.
Sorry, was that
Okay.
a request for a specific comment, Greg?
I was just messing with you. That's all, Ben.
Okay.
No comment. No comment needed. I just wanted you to be able to talk while you're on this meeting. I appreciate it. Okay. Anything else, Amy, on your report?
Nope, that's it. If there's any questions I can answer.
Okay. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it. Does the board have any other discussion items? I guess we have one discussion item, Cider Fest.
Yes, I received a request from Cider Fest and Visit Hood River to potentially help with a shuttle from 11 to 6 p.m. On, oh gosh, I think it's on Cider Fest, which I think it's May 18th. And it would be a shuttle about every 30 minutes. And my ask is for you all to discuss, see if this is something that you would like me to do further research on. This year, Cider Fest is going to be at the WHAM Museum instead of the event center or the event site. So it's not typically where we have transit service, and it's going to be on a Saturday. So our Upper Valley route does not run on that day. So I have chatted with ODOT and just with a basic understanding of what this would be. This would not qualify as a charter, but we can require fares and to pay for the service. And if for some reason those fares do not cover the cost of the service on that day, we could ask Cider Fest to make the difference, or we can even think about looking at some other avenues and reaching out to to the city of Hood River or other folks to see if that's something that they could assist with.
Did they request a certain route or what kind of help do they want?
So that could be up to us. So my recommendation would be making it go from the Cat Center into downtown, and then up to Wham. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to them fully about all the details quite yet. Just very preliminary, but first I wanted to run this by you, to see if this is something that you guys wanted me to dig more into.
Did they at first say they were trying to like stop drinking and driving or just needed to, they couldn't handle the parking at Wham for the size of event they have or
You know,
just,
I have not discussed that with them. I was taking it from the perspective of as our goal would be to help reduce drunk driving as much as
is
possible.
that a good goal?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and the fact that it's just kind of so up there, that was my intent for how I would recommend you all seeing why we would be doing this.
So my 2 cents on it is yes, Wham is a really cool venue, but it's super car dependent, and I'm kind of perplexed because like you can't even bike there. I mean you can, but it's like why would you ever want to share um, Tucker Road with potential drunk drivers? So I'm like, why didn't they make a better decision on where to host it? Like I thought the waterfront was great because not only does transit already exist there, but you can bike there. So I don't know. I don't think we should go out of our way um, to help, but it would be nice to provide that community service.
And Megan, I did talk to just some other growers, and they were upset that it was moved to the event site, that they thought it'd be better out near the orchards where things were growing, closer to their thing instead of the event site. They thought it was kind of really supporting Hood River and not the rural areas or communities. I don't know how they ended up at Wham. It didn't make sense. Seemed like the fairgrounds may have been a better option for them. So, but that was their comments that I heard. I don't know that that's the exact reason. Any other comments from the board? Do you guys want Amy to explore this and come back with options? And you probably need to do this before our next board meeting to give them adequate time, or
Yeah, I have a meeting set up with Cider Fest just in case when I get back, not next week, but the week after. Um, and I mean, I will be back next week, but the meeting isn't until the first week in April. Um, so yeah, I need to kind of get moving on this and dig into it more before the next board meeting.
do you have any concerns that then this kind of sets precedent for a bunch of other events if the community needs for us to be able to support, where that's not really how what we're designed to do?
Yeah, potentially. And I think it would be if the board decided to move forward with this, that there should be some pretty clear criteria for when we're willing to look into this more. And the initial thoughts on the top of my head are reducing potential drunk driving, making it more accessible for community members, and making sure that through fares or other means it gets paid for by itself.
Okay. Matt.
Yeah, I mean, Amy just kind of summed it up there, I guess. Just like making it self-sustaining, so that we're not out of pocket. And then I think, in terms of setting a precedent, it may be one that we want to consider as a board. I mean, it's sort of free marketing to an extent. It would definitely increase our visibility. So as long as we're not out of pocket, it seems like a reasonable service to provide.
Yeah, and the only thing we have to be careful with is just making sure it's not a charter. And because this is in our service area and an extension of our service, then it would not necessarily be seen as a charter.
So that's just a question for legal in terms of like what that threshold is or what?
It's more a ODOT question. every time this type of thing comes up, I always discuss it with Hobie and make sure we're not getting close to those charter. I want to say criteria, but that's not really the actual word. But we just don't want it to be. If it is a true charter, then a lot of other requirements come into play. Hovie, anything else you'd like to add there?
Trying to turn everything on. No, I think you've got it covered. I think that, with all these, I always recommend that if it's a recreational route or something that is an event, that it gets paid for by the event, or the fairs. So if you can do that, that's great.
Okay, thank you. Well, it sounds like you should at least explore it, Amy. Unless I'm hearing any objection from the board, just to have the meeting and come back to us with the options. But I'm also hearing, yeah, I'd be supportive of it paying for itself somehow.
Yeah.
Megan?
Yeah, quick follow-up question on what you said, Greg. Are you sure you're not talking about Harvest Fest and not Cider Fest?
No, because I was talking with one of the cider producers.
Oh, because I would say the majority, I think it seems like 90% of the vendors are cideries from around the Pacific Northwest. Anyway.
Okay. All right, any objection to having Amy kind of pursue and have this meeting and then come back via, I guess, email on some options?
Yeah, and I think for final, approval, I can come back on the April meeting, because this would be in May, but I can come back for final approval, after I have all the understandings and some clarification or commitment to fairs or paying the difference between the cost and the fairs.
Okay. Thanks. I think you got the thumbs up. Not hearing any objections. Okay. Any other upcoming events? Megan, you usually have something. Okay.
Well, really quickly, since you prompted me, sorry, the e-bike bill passed the Senate 2 weeks ago, and so the governor is probably going to sign it into law, and that means that as of January 1st, 2007, 14-year-olds will be legally allowed to ride Class 1 e-bikes, which are only pedal assist, no throttle, and there will be fines for retailers that sell e-motorcycles disguised as e-bikes. And there's some other language in there, but that's the big ones.
Thanks. Appreciate the update. Okay, any others? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Matt. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. We are adjourned.
Thank you,
All right.
Greg. Thanks,
Thank you very
everyone.
much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
And Amy, do I get my bonus for finishing quick on your vacation?
Yes, you do. Well done. Thank you. It's gonna be a
Didn't
little
you
clap,
promise
a
me a free
circle of
cider
applause.
pack?
Well done.
Hope you stop.